All right, y'all. Okay, I am live. I am so sorry for being late. Oh, look at that dirty screen. Hold on. Let me switch up the screen, y'all. Let me switch up the screen. How do I clean this? I don't even have a. Oh, let me fix that. Whoop. Oh, well, I wore a bra today. Okay, there we go. Can I get a thumbs up? Let me know if you can hear me in the chat because I was not able to, I was having difficulty using the sound. Somebody said, how much can she owe in civil court if charges are pressed? So let me know if you, let me see, if you can hear me. Because I'm having trouble hearing it. Apparently I set this up through YouTube as opposed to StreamYard, so it's acting funny. Let's see. Okay. Oh, good. Okay, you can hear me. Oh, we got questions already. I love this. Someone says, "How much time can she?" Oh, okay. So we got different. Let's start with R. Kelly. Let's start with this gentleman. Now, I'm so aggravated with myself. Oh, because I'm trying. Oh gosh, I don't know if I could share a screen from here. We about to find out though. Let's see. Nope. Now this was just crazy. All right, I'm gonna give you guys the best that I can. So it looks like from where I am, from the way I went on, I didn't do StreamYard, which is what I usually do. Because I got a lot going on in my personal life in a good way. But we're gonna talk about these cases a little bit tonight. I got a date tonight. Um, Different person than last time. That wasn't even a real date. But um, we're gonna talk about the cases, and then we're gonna break down each of the pages and stuff. We'll break that down in another session. So I just want to make sure here that you guys know the real deal on the law, that we get a chance to talk about it so that you can correct some of these people that are out here just saying a little bit of anything. So somebody said, Real People Consulting says, hey, Dr. Symone, let's break this down. Let's start. We got to start with R. Kelly, y'all. I got the complaint right here. Now, I have to preface this by saying I'm quite familiar with Mr. Kelly and his antics because actually I represented one of his victims in 2019. I represented a young lady who was from here, Texas, who had sex with him when she was a teenager. And he was grown, met him after a concert here in Texas. They had sex and he gave her herpes, which unfortunately she has to deal with for life. So I filed that case, got that case going in New York. And as a result, I've been dealing with his legal antics for years, right? I'm familiar with them for years, both from that side, but also reading, learning, and understanding about the other women that have, brought charges against him. Well, mind you, back in 2019, I was very clear that the strategy should be get in there quick. We filed, he was dodging service. I was like, get in there quick. We file him with a lawsuit, get a default judgment, which is the judgment that you get when someone is refusing service or basically they're choosing not to participate in the litigation. I was like, let's get a multi-million-dollar default and then collect based on his royalties. Because we know that man can't read or write. So I did not expect him to be able to keep his assets for very long. But the royalties, that's a continuing income stream. So I was happy to hear that. I think it was just earlier this year that some of the victims actually began to start collecting from his streaming proceeds. So if you ever feel guilty about streaming R. Kelly, you can explain, like, no, this is for the victims. This is for the victims. So here in this lawsuit, though, y'all, he's suing a little bit of everybody. So R. Kelly has brought this suit against the United States Bureau of Prisons. That's basically the corrections officers in the federal prison, as well as TASHA K. Now, this is a civil suit. So here, he's just asking for monetary damages, money. However, the law that he is proceeding under allows you to get both monetary and criminal charges pressed. Now, I want to make sure you understand how the criminal charges part works because that's what everybody wants to know. We want to know, is Tasha K going to jail or no? Is Tasha K going to jail or no? How much longer? Hear about Miss Tasha K. Now, don't get me wrong, her stuff is juicy. Y'all saw that Will Smith stuff. She about to get sued again by Will Smith and the crew for talking about Will Smith running around doing it to people that are men. Um, Will apparent just this week it was released on her show. She had one of Will Smith's former BFFs come on and talk about how he walked in on Will getting banged out by Dwayne Martin. That's Keisha Campbell's ex-husband. All right. We're gonna put that to the side. Now, with the criminal charges, how it works is you have to have a certain amount of damages, which is over $5,000. And here, that's what R. Kelly alleges. So he alleges that basically, um, corrections officers were listening in on his phone calls with his attorneys, which they are absolutely not supposed to do, as well as his phone calls with his girlfriends, plural, and they were also sharing call logs and shared them, sold them specifically to Tasha K. So not only is that a breach of privacy, but it's also a breach of basically it's a national computer act. So it's a computer act. I don't have the exact initials in front of me. Oh, hold on. The Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Now, there's a federal act for that, and then every state has adopted its own version. Y'all, let me tell you, this thing is deadly. If a regular person like me and you wanted to use it, pretty much almost all our boyfriends and girlfriends would be in jail. Here's why. It prevents someone from going into your cell phone or your computer or any device such as that cell phone computer without authorization, taking that information out and using it against you or using it for profit. So that could be you digging in your man's phone without permission, seeing nudes of some other girl he's messing with, and then releasing them. Violation. You've committed um, a crime under the act, and you can go to jail for it if you hurt that person at least $5,000 worth, or you can have civil penalties. Here, R. Kelly is claiming he's definitely got the 5,000 in damages, but he's also saying that he wants the U.S. Attorney's Office to pick up the criminal charges. Because remember, um, anybody, any old jailbird can file a civil suit. That's why him sitting there in prison, he ain't got nothing to do but time. This lawsuit is going to last for years. He's got nothing to do but twiddle his fingers. Oh yeah, he can't read and write, so I guess he won't be writing any petitions, but communicating with his lawyers and sitting it out to see how it works out. Now, somebody said it's a child to be real people. I got you. So with the civil suit, he's basically trying to go after the Bureau of Prisons as well as Tasha K. So when I read the entire complaint, and obviously I can't do my share screen, so I can't show you the components. But my first thought was, wait a minute. Now this man owes umpteen millions to umpteen victims. Yeah, and still it seems like he's able to pay everybody but the victims. He can pay all these lawyers, but he can't seem to pay the victims. Also, some of his lawyers in his criminal case withdrew because they were not getting paid. So I was trying to figure out, like, first of all, where is this money coming from? Now, if I were still representing any of the victims that are owed money, oh, baby, that's my first question. Miss Jennifer, his attorney is Jennifer somebody. Let me get this lady's name again. Jennifer Bongine. Miss Bongine, where is this money coming from? Is it one of the girlfriends? Whoever this money is coming from, that is a source that could be used to also potentially pay the victim. So we'd want to know that. But then secondly, I was like, this is a very expensive and high-powered lawyer. What is the true strategy? Well, she's also his appellate lawyer. Basically, I believe that this lawsuit is setting it up for two things. They most importantly, they want to set it up so that he can ultimately have his conviction overturned. because the main arguments that he's complaining about is that because the jailers were listening to his attorney's phone calls and stuff, then it did not allow him to defend himself the same way he could if he had the element of surprise against the prosecutor. So, for example, um, in one of the calls with one of his girlies, he got like 30,000 put on his book, something obnoxious like that. Well, the prosecutor then found out about the calls because obviously a jailer was listening. And you are not allowed to listen. You can listen to calls with third parties. You cannot listen to calls with someone's attorney. The jailers found out and they told the prosecutor. The prosecutor then goes to court and is able to seize all the money that was in his commissary. Correct. It wasn't 30,000. That's actually wrong. Initially, it was a lower amount, but at the time it was seized, it was six figures. It was over 100. I believe it was like 120K, but there was a large amount that was seized. He pointed to that as one of the examples of how they're listening, they're using the info against him. He's trying to pull a Bill Cosby here. In the same way Bill Cosby went to jail for 3 years, found a technicality, and was able to get out. That's what he wants here. Because this attorney, Jennifer Bongine, she's also his appellate attorney. So that is a clever strategy, whether you agree or not. The strategy itself, it makes sense as well. Because secondly, I'm like, again, how is he going to pay for all this? Guys, I know how he's going to pay for it. He's going to sue Tasha K. Just like he's suing her here. Oh, because in the final paragraphs where he lists how much money he wants, he lists over $1 million. He wants over $1 million for how this has impacted him. Now, keep in mind, getting anything out of the government, like money like that from the government, good luck. You'll never see it. Because even if the government is guilty, they have this law called the Federal Tort Claims Act. States have it, the feds have it. What that does is it says, yeah, even if you find the government was wrong, we are going to cap how much they owe you because we can. Because we're Congress and we can. Because we don't want our government to be on the hook for paying people. I had a case where I represented the family of a kindergartner who went to school and swallowed a push pin, choked on it. And the school nurse was supposed to be giving her, life-saving oxygen, but she ended up dying and dying a very tragic death. Initially, some of the TV lawyers swooped in, they heard about it, and they tried to sue the school district. But because of the Tort Claims Act, even if you win, you couldn't get any money from them. So it was useless. Here, the Federal Tort Claims Act is very similar. So with the Federal Tort Claims, now if they're beating somebody up and things like that, that's different. You can get compensated for that. But civil offenses such as this, it's probably going to be a very minor amount that he could get, even if he did win against the Bureau of Prisons. But more importantly, I think he wants the money from Tasha K because even though she owes Cardi and technically Cardi's debt is first, she's got that continuing income stream. Unless she were to bankrupt her production company, which she's not going to do. Even if she changes the name, he would still be entitled, if you won against her, to collect money. Because remember, that is the medium that aired all his business out there in the first place without permission. So it could be very easy to see that. Also, remember, although Tasha K is in bankruptcy, the judge has already ruled on what the judge will and will not allow. It'll be interesting to see. They're going to have another hearing in January. It'll be interesting to see if in that hearing, does she amend her bankruptcy docs to list the R. Kelly case? If she does, the judge can say, hey, even if he wins, you don't have to pay a dime. They usually will not do that in advance, but there's a chance. But ultimately, R. Kelly wants a new trial. He wants the case dismissed and potentially wants to collect some coins from Tasha K, from her streaming, from all of her resources. So we'll have to stay tuned on that. All right, so next up is, yes, he wanted over $1 million, y'all. All right, next up, should we do should we do Miss Keke or should we do Chrisean? Ah! All right, we gotta do Chrisean. I'm gonna make a reel on Chrisean because I got to show y'all these documents. Oh, Miss Chrisean. 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 Boo boo. All right, so last night, well, the night before last, Tamar came out and said, yes, my boy James was assaulted by Chrisean. Bless the little heart. Then the tour manager, Rob Hatcher, came out. He gave a more in-depth version. Some people think it's cap. Other people say, hey, it's the only thing that made sense. The gist of what he said was that, yes, Tamar had invited her to the show. And Tamar herself said Tamar's idea was that she always has like a little twerk session type of thing during the show. That she would have Chrisean come out, play her song, and they could twerk to her song. That makes sense. Chrisean is a twerker. Chrisean is not a singer. But that gives like a little intermission where her staff and the musicians can kind of take a break and a pause while the audience remains entertained. So that was what Tamar was saying, and then what Rob was saying was supposed to happen. It just had not been communicated to everyone. But what did happen was at the time when they were ready to call Chrisean up there to do her little twerking situation, she was nowhere to be found. Now, there is one version specifically that's more specific that says she was in the front trying to get one of her homegirls in, somebody from her entourage. That's believable to me because that's the kind of entourage she rolls with. I personally, like, even if I'm just going to a club with my girls, I'm not if I can't get there on time. If you tell me, hey y'all, like back in the day, my 20s, girls, it's free before midnight. Guess who would be standing out front at 11:59 with a smile? Me. So I think it's really rude and inconsiderate. I've always felt if someone were to miss the time to walk in with whoever has the hookup and then require that person to come out and get them. Because I definitely have homegirls to be like, girl, can you send your man to come out and get me? Nope. No, we're dancing. We are dancing to Gucci. I'm not, no. That's what Chrisean should have done. She should have stuck with the plan, been by the stage, ready for her cue to twerk. Ultimately, though, Chrisean was upset that she missed the opportunity. The Rob Hatcher said that she actually cried. She stated, like, people just keep trying. The gist of it was people keep taking advantage of me. They play me for stupid. Like, this happens to me all the time. I go to different cities and they tell me I can get up there and perform, and they lie to me, and it's embarrassing and it's humiliating. So they consoled her, but then as that was happening, one of the guys were trying to tell her, like, hey, we didn't know, like that was not communicated to us. We didn't know. And at one point, basically, they're repeating this. At this point, she's been drinking and everything else that she's done over the night. And she decides they're lying to her and on her. So she looks over at James and says, no, she basically says, that's cap. I told y'all that I was right over here, or I was right by the stage. I was where I was supposed to be. And you knew that. And he was like, I'm a backup singer. No, we didn't see you. And she said, say it one more time, and I'm gonna knock your teeth out, or whatever she said. Say it one more time. Like, I dare you, say it one more time. And he said it, he said, I seriously didn't see you. Pow, 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 pow. She was pow, 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 pow. As you know, as you can see, I'm not a good fighter. Pow, 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 pow. Somebody said Symone should interact with the live chat more. I agree. So she pow, 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 pow. And everybody was like, what just happened here? We are people of the Lord. We are people of the Lord. Like, and they couldn't believe it. This is my additional commentary. It was like some of them were like praying to themselves. They were like, should we lay hands? Should we lay feet? Should we beat her up back? I don't know what to do. And remember, although James is big and gay, James is still a man. So James cannot hit her back. You know, and that's what she's used to. It seems like she likes hitting men and then expecting to not get hit back. Now, so she pow, pow, pow. He had to go get his teeth fixed and a variety of things. The police were ultimately called. There is no police report out yet. Let me say this to the people who are like, if this really happened, the cameras would have got it. You are foolish. You're a fool. You must have never been backstage at a top performing artist backstage. Because the truth of the matter is, you can't pull your cell phone out. When you were in a true celebrity's backstage, they want the utmost privacy. No, baby. And also, those were her friends. It was all her friends, and then it was Chrisean. So her friends would already know that. The only person that would have been there to pull out a camera to record it would have been the one that was doing the pow, Chrisean. So no, there was no cameras recording that component. And secondly, it was not like with Jocelyn. That ain't no award-winning performance. Jocelyn wants all of this recorded. And then secondly, a police report was done. But y'all, let me tell you, the people are like, why isn't the police report out? Baby, that's not how that works. I just had to file a police report over some foolishness the other day. They come over, they give you an incident number. It ain't even a report number a lot of times. It's just an incident number. Then they do their investigation, decide are they going to take the incident into a formal report. When they make the report, they do not release draft reports. Why? Because there's a time window that they can get amended, change, whatever. They get enough time to do a little bit of investigation, enough for the DA to say, hey, yes, I'm going to pick up charges, or no, I'm not, or whatever. So the one in Justlene's case, that one came out so quick. Why? Because she got arrested on the spot. So it was going to come out quick. Here, the police didn't come until after she left the scene. There was a variety of other things. He needed to go get medical attention. So it's not unusual to me that the medical report isn't out yet. And then secondly, a lot of places, like when I had to go get mine, I said medical report, I meant police report. When I had to go get a copy of my police report, I had to do it in person. James don't live there. To my understanding, that happened in California. And yeah, so if he's in a different state, you want him to fly all the way to there to get a copy? No, it makes more sense for him to wait and see what the DA is going to do. And he does not control whether the DA is going to press charges. Now, lucky for Chrisean, this happened in California. Let's talk about it. Here's why Chrisean is facing up to 4 years in jail. And again, I wish I had the documents up. I might overlay them later. Here's why she's facing up to 4 years. Because Miss Thing, she loves her substances. Miss Thing in 2022, here we go. Yeah, in 2022, she was arrested for unlawful possession of a controlled drug with the intent to distribute, and something about failure to have a stamp. That was weird. She had so much marijuana on her that they considered it an amount to distribute. It was that much. It was felony charge. Now, they said, hey, but because you don't have any prior criminal history, she was sentenced to a term of deferment. That was May 24th of this year. It was filed. That she got that's basically probation. Here's the thing, her probation doesn't end until March 2027. Let me tell you about this little podunk country town she done got herself locked up in and arrested in. This county, okay, it is like a Craig County, Oklahoma. You ever heard of Craig County? No, because nobody cares about Craig County. It is so small and conservative, etc. That's the kind of place where they would lock you up and give you a felony for marijuana. She really lucked out then. But what's of concern is that when you have a little bitty town like that and they're dealing with a celebrity, oh, baby, they want that shine. That's how you go from a baby prosecutor to a big prosecutor. When it's time to run for district attorney, you like being able to say, oh, I took that TV star, that musician, that TV star, that popular person down, right? Because they ain't got nothing to do with Craig. They out there chewing tobacco and doing it to their cousins. So remember, like right after Chrisean was flicking the bird, she was unapologetic. Then the next day or so, she has a post that says, I'm getting on social media. Baby, that was her lawyer or somebody tapping her on the shoulder and said, did you forget you got a probation officer or somebody to report to, Miss Lady? Sit over there and be quiet. So then the next day, she goes on YouTube and denies that anyone was ever hit. Her and her little homegirl, whatever little friend she got, bless her little heart, they went on there and said, nobody was hit. That didn't even happen. If it happened, and they're feeding you the lies. If that happened, it would have been recorded. Nope, that's not how it worked. If it happened, why didn't they call the police? They did call the police. If it happened, Why wasn't she arrested? That's not how that works. I know you've been arrested a lot of times, but when you're gone and it's LA, LA got real crimes. They're not worried about a woman punching a big, fat, black gay man in the face. They're not. They should be because he's a victim just like anybody else. But in the order of crimes of preference, California is not focused on that. I'm sorry, was it California or was it Atlanta? Y'all correct me. All right, but going back to it, so she's got this deferment, so basically probation. It specifically says, um, it's a felony, blah blah blah. The rules of her probation. She got to pay some fees. She's already done all that. She's got to do 120 hours of community service. Um, in lieu of 30 days in jail. Okay. Then it says, bah, 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 bah. She has to pay her assessment, and basically, she's not supposed to get into any other. The terms and condition of probation are she is not to violate any other statutes of state, tribal, or federal government, or any municipal ordinances. Baby, that's not limited to Oklahoma. That's anywhere. So even if it is a misdemeanor, which I actually think it could be felony assault. Even if it's a misdemeanor, it's a probation violation. She'll have to take her tail right back up to Oklahoma. The probation officer can have her sit in there and determine that her probation be revoked and that she has to do her time, which could be up to 4 years. You generally you deduct out the time that's gone so far. And shoot, this was done. What day was that? Oh, this was done in March. This document is stamped March 24th. Oh, baby, you got about that'd be 3.5 years, honey child. You don't want those problems. You need to run James a check with the confidentiality agreement and something that says he is been made whole and is not going to sue you. You need to pray and you need to thank baby Jesus that he wasn't her worst. But it could very likely be considered felony assault. One, they could consider the rings in the same way, like with brass knuckles, that the rings were used. But secondly, um, part of how they determine like felony assault versus misdemeanor is the amount of damage. Now, this man sings for a living. If she done knocked his jaw out of place, messed up his teeth, as I said, we know now teeth are expensive. I mean, look at what's his name? G Herbo. G Herbo, you about to go to jail. And he said, I'm about to get these teeth put in my mouth because somebody's willing to do it for free. I don't know why, but they're gonna give him some free teeth. You saw Cardi B told us, I got a bag and fixed my teeth. Yeah, somebody said Chrisean is too proudful to take accountability. Somebody says, I'm about to contact that county or see who I know that lives there. Maybe they are unaware. Yeah, so it is Craig County. They could very well be unaware. They seem like the kind of county where they probably all got like satellite dishes in front of their trailers. Mm, something like that. But oh yeah, honey, that DA, that assistant DA, that young little whoever was initially assigned to her case, oh, he or she is there is a good likelihood that they may want to use this matter to be a little celebrity. Now, note it says on here it's 4 years of probation, but it says initially she was sentenced in lieu of 30 days in jail. Now, one thing they could come back with is say, do your 30 days in jail, then come out and act like you had some sense. But if they drug test that little girl, I don't think she's gonna pass. Not to mention, if Blueface wanted to be a total I wouldn't even say an a-hole at this point because we all are kind of questioning her ability to control her emotions. If Bluetooth, I'm gonna call him Bluetooth. Y'all know how many. If Bluetooth wants to use this to fight for custody, I know a woman would do it. A woman would do it in a minute. So, baby girl Kashawn really needs to watch out on how she's behaving because keep this up, baby girl. Jaden is gonna be raising your babies, and they're gonna be calling her mama for 30 days to 4 years while you are on visitation. Do some grass. We don't want that for you. But that's what it's looking like. Do we got any somebody said they're from Tulsa? Yes, this is first 48 territory, baby. First 48. Somebody said she got locked up on the Chitlin Circuit. Yes. Any other questions about Chrisean, her potential 4-year sentence, what she's facing, the custody, this, that. Now, mind you, Blueface, Bluetooth, whatever he want to be, he ain't no spring chicken. He is not. I mean, he might be just slightly better than the foster care system. I feel like Chrisean may have like a sister and aunt or somebody who would be better, but that's that. Now, y'all, let's go to Miss Keke real quick. I wish I could play you the audio. Keke's mama don't play. I need somebody to tell me, is Keke's father deceased? Has he passed away? I asked because it yesterday was released audio and video from basically a conversation where Keke's mama is cussing out Darius Palmer for his behavior with respect to both Keke and the child. Somebody was asking, saying, doesn't Bluetooth have charges too? Yes, Bluetooth got charges too, honey. Here we go. Going back to Keke and the baby daddy. So mama's cussing him out. Now, here's what's crazy to me. When I'm listening to this, I said, who the hell released this? Who thought this was going to be helpful to them? You know, on Keke's side, it does make her mom seem very aggressive but protective of her child, which is why I was asking if perhaps her dad passed away, because her mother was speaking with the pain of a woman who knows that she has to be both mother and father to a young lady for some reason. I'm just not sure. Because this man clear out at one point, she said she was going to put a pow pow in him. And ultimately, I discovered that it was Darius who released it. So Darius, this man can't be smart. He can't be. He didn't even try to do it slick. He didn't even try to like pretend. He gives the audio to Armand Wiggins and lets Armand release it, and it's all hearing Mama Palmer go off. Now the thing about it is, though, she's recounting incidences of him being demeaning and mistalking to her. At no point does he say, I didn't do that, ma'am? Oh, no, ma'am, that's a misunderstanding. It's so clear that he's setting her up for this recording because of the way that he's so silent. Ain't no man in their right mind. Ain't no, y'all tell me what you think. I feel like no man in their right mind would have been that silent while receiving that level of a cuss out. Because either you're going to leave the house, leave the room, and walk away and be like, I'm not about to let you talk to me like this over the phone. Or they're going to defend themselves and be like, no, your daughter's not telling the truth. That's not what happened. Here's these. He sat there and was just like, and recorded. She told him his mama was stupid. His mama was a bee. His mama was this, that, and slow. And he comes from she basically said, you come from slow ussy. Okay, you come from slow ussy. And that's what's wrong with all of y'all. She let him know every which way. But Mom Palmer, I love you, but you made one real big mistake. Y'all lean in with me. I almost don't want to say this on the internet, but it's fine. I'm a nobody, so he'll never hear this live. Y'all lean in. Are you leaning in? I need a thumbs up or something. Hit that like button. Oh, it's 85 in the chat. We got 39 likes. Lean in. This is gonna be Moni Mo on the ones and twos. No, seriously, listen. I wish I could play the audio. If you listen to the audio, literally it's in like the first 20 seconds of her cussing him out. She says to him, because he's clearly very insecure and stuff like that. She says, we don't need you. Keke, just this year alone, Keke made $30 million. You're right, Mom. And I love how proud you are of your daughter because you raised her in Hollywood without her being Holly weird. You raised an amazing baby girl. Here's the problem. I tell you about this all the time. California is ass backwards when it comes to child support. Now, right now with the restraining order, Keke has full custody and everything until they have another hearing. That's only 14 days. Okay, but it takes a lot to completely lose custody of a child. Even when you knock their mama around the house, The reason being is the law is messed up, and the law basically says, but has they ever hit the child? Yeah, he might beat his wife, but if he doesn't beat the child is still deserves a relationship with their father. That's what the law says. It's not what Symone says. So I say that to say you may know a lot of women who were attacked and stuff by their partner, but still had to go drop that baby off at the partner's house for visitation, for exchanges. If you know somebody who's had that, hit that like button. You've been there. Here's the other problem with California that's messed up. California calculates child support based on basically they want the kid to be as rich at their mama's house as they are at their daddy's house. If they're riding around in a Bentley at their daddy's house, they should ride around in a Bentley at their mama's house. Now, it usually, because usually the man is making the money, it usually is a benefit to the woman. Look at Tristan Thompson, baby mama, that woman that was a one night stand. She's getting something crazy. I think it was like 14, 15,000, whatever it is. The problem is here, even though he's no good, no count, he hit her, he did all of that. If she gets full custody, which is usually like 80%, and he sees the child weekends every other weekend, she is still going to have to pay him probably between $10,000 and $20,000 a month. I kid you not, $10,000 to $20,000 a month. Oh, don't believe me? Google Halle Berry. Y'all, when I edit this, I got receipts. Halle Berry, not the husband she just divorced. The little model, the cute little model that she dated when she just really wanted a baby. It's okay, but girl, we understand. I'm older. The model that she had a baby with, Halle had full custody. Halle had that baby all during the week and everything. He got his daughter every other weekend and like a month in the summer. She had to pay him $18,000 a month. Let me say it again. $18,000 a month. Halle Berry had to pay that man. And he had less than 20% custody. Oh, yeah, that's what you do. Let me tell you something. When Keke first came out as pregnant, everyone's like, oh, congratulations. I said, girl, I'm gonna pray for you because that ain't the one. He trapped you. He trapped you. He trapped you. I know when that man, first of all, she's a homeowner. I know the first thing he said, oh, I like, he probably got up in that house. It's so cute and said, oh, I like this. I'm gonna come in here. Good. I can move out my brother's house, my mama's house, whatever it is. Somebody said, can she move and file somewhere else? The answer is no. The problem is, as wherever you start, as long as the kid is still in that state, it's not her, as long as even the dad is still in that state, then they'll do it by the resources and the calculation of that state. It is extremely difficult to move and get it recalculated on a different state. The best example I have for you is there is this basketball player, you can Google, named Chris Bosh. I know of him because we're both from Dallas. Chris Bosh used to play for Toronto Raptors. He looks just like a raptor. He looks just like a dinosaur if you ever seen him. Okay. He had this baby mom, and he got traded from Toronto to Miami. He had this baby mom who knew he was from Texas. He had a big old fancy house in Texas. She was sick of him because they broke up and he didn't start messing with other women. She had the baby. She files in Texas. Texas caps child support at the time at $1,500. His lawyer comes out and says, you know what, sis? I see that it's capped at 15, but I'm gonna give you 2,500 because you still got to get up and go to work. He didn't say the B word, but effectively, that's what happened. However, he was playing for Miami at the time. Now, oh girl, I think her name was like Alicia or something. Oh girl picked the wrong lawyer. I saw the letters. She picked a lawyer who had an AOL email address. Let me tell you, if there's one thing I always say, if you haven't heard me say it before, if your lawyer got AOL, you going to jail. Okay? You do not hire lawyers with AOL or Yahoo addresses. What that says is they are not with the times. They probably don't even know the law. They are just sitting around waiting to die. That's what happened here. Her own lawyer didn't realize that Texas capped it at 15, but if it was filed in Florida, she would have gotten $30,000 a month. Baby, she tried to move it from Texas to Florida. She was like, oh, look, he's got a Florida He's got a Florida driver's license. He plays for this team in Florida. Judge said, no, ma'am, you already filed in Texas. You stay in Texas. Texas it is. Sorry, Charlie. Oh, girl had to go and get a job, y'all. I'd be so mad. The way I would have filed a malpractice. Oh, you know what? But that lady got AOL. She probably even got malpractice insurance. Whew, bless her. If he's charged for abuse, somebody said, will he have to pay? Will the victim have to pay the abuser? Now, this is with respect to how I'm talking about how Keke could be liable to pay this man 10 to 20K a month for child support. Yes, the answer is yes. They don't care. Abuse, right? The law says that's separate. That's you, mama. He just beats you up. He don't beat the kid. Now, if you have evidence he beats the kid, then that's different. But yes, the person getting abused still has to pay because child support is for the benefit of the child. And so at the end of the day, it is the courts always ask what is in the best interest of the child. And of course, it's in the best interest of the child for them to be supported and supported in a way by both parents. So that is screwed. Can she move? You're right. Keke got trapped because she wanted a baby with pretty hair. Yeah, with that money she's got, baby, you can buy some hair on your baby. It's a boy anyway. Don't nobody care what kind of hair a boy got. Boys can be ugly. Just make him rich. Somebody says, I was able to change from VA to North Carolina to get to age 21. Okay, MD. Was he still in the one state that yeah, was he in the one state? Because part of the challenge is if the other party is still in that state, then it makes it difficult. So what you'll see is his brother, Seronis or whatever you call his name, has a baby with this cute little girl. She's not a little girl. This cute woman, Dominique, who is from here in Texas. He filed and is trying to make her move back to California. Sir, be grateful Texas has a cap, although he probably don't make enough money to go past the cap. No way. Now the cap is 1,800. Sir, be grateful. And it doesn't matter where y'all were screwing. It matters where she has her support system and resources. So he's filing now basically to put himself on child support and to get visitation. But Serranis, boo boo, too late. You should have done that before she moved. When you do it after someone has moved, you can't force them back into a state. I bet you ain't even pay no formal child support. If you ain't got money to relocate me and all of my resources, sir, please quit acting. Then I said, Keke said he was rough with the child when changing his diaper. I did hear that. I believe it. Especially because, like, if you're a person who's easily frustrated or, frustrated, you take it out on the people that are closest to you. So I could see that happening. My guess is that the court will request some form of a supervised visitation. But depending on how different their incomes are, she could still owe him. Now, I don't think she would owe him anything if it's supervised so much that like he only sees the child 2 hours a week, twice a month, right? Because there's not enough visitation of a percentage for it to make a difference. But somebody said Keke was trapped. Yeah, I think so too. Recall his ex shared that he made her have get rid of the baby to pursue Keke. Oh yeah. I mean, resource. That's why you got to look. What do I have? What does he have? What is his plan to get for us to be equally yoked? But the challenge for Keke is if she's waiting for a man who has what she had, she be done celibate for the next 20 years. Because half of them are lady boys. The other half of them don't like black women, especially in California. Forget about it. She should have took Steve Harvey's advice. Mr. Harvey, you was all right. You got some point. Bet she'll listen now. So then, what does he say? Princess Anne said, so does this mean Keke will have to pay him in the end regardless? Basically, unless his custody and visitation is terminated, yes. Keke will have to pay him monthly some form of an amount because of the huge differential. According to her mom, she made $30 million this year. And I'd be surprised if he made 30,000. I don't know. Does he have OnlyFans? That's like the only thing that I can see him. Like, he gonna have to start selling foot pics or dick pics, something. And half the time I will buy the dick pic, just I want to look at it and be like, okay, Kiki, what got you here? But then after I look at it, I'm gonna delete it from my history because I don't want anybody to know I ever did that. We're here, guys. Somebody said he has no income. Somebody said, I knew Dominique was in a similar situation. It is sad. Kayla, also, I love your content. Hey, Kayla. Keep going. You're doing amazing. Yes, Kayla, you're doing amazing. Keep going, girl. Keep going. That man has no job. Yeah, it is just really crazy. I mean, California is just so ass backwards. There are very few states that still have that form of the calculation where it's basically you take from 2 cups, pour it into 1 cup. And if that one, whatever is 100%, then you make sure each side is equal. So you could have a straight up bum. Halle Berry's man ain't never worked outside of Milan. I would know I would know that man from Adam. I would not know that man. She only recently got her child support reduced from 18,000 a month to 8,000 because she had her younger son. Baby, the way that's what makes me want to that's what makes people want to go on Dateline and do that stuff on Dateline. And I said that's wild that she has to pay her abuser. She definitely should have listened to Steve. Yet Steve introduced Cynthia to her old clout chasing ex-husband. Yes. Well, Steve also introduced me. So I was on the show. I was there with my cousin. If you see my Instagram, my cousin Noella had her birthday this week, and in 2014 we both went on. Allegedly, I was the worst wing woman ever. No, because I would say inappropriate things when I'd be like trying to hook her up with people. But so Steve decided that he was going to hook up her, and then he was going to hook me up so that I would mind my business, which clearly hasn't worked because to this day, I don't mind my business. That's what we're sitting here together, guys, minding other people's business. This is fun. And he hooked me up with Laz Alonso. And so that was like, I really do think he took a lot of time reading my responses because I specifically said, I don't want no athlete or entertainer. So that's why I was frustrated. I was like, I told you that. I said, no athlete entertainer. I said, I want a man. I like either a man in finance or an engineer. I bring me my intellectual equal, well educated, has to have at least a college degree, fun, witty. I'm Catholic, whatever. I say, he has to love the Lord, can't hate him. I'm open to religion. And then apparently, with Laz had been asking, there we go. Laz had been asking, what you call that boy? Steve, sorry, had been asking Steve to hook him up for like over a year. And he said, don't give me nobody in the industry. So I busted out laughing because I was like, so he was like, yep. He specifically said he didn't want anybody in the industry. And you said you didn't want anybody in the industry. So I figured I would connect you too because he used to work on Wall Street, has a degree from Howard and Exeter. That's a big deal. Exeter is like an Ivy League high school. And he was Catholic and Cuban. And, I was like, oh, okay. Definitely made sense on paper. But we went on one day and I never heard from him again. I don't know if my breath stank. I was ugly. I don't know. I'm humble enough to know, like, he's a celebrity. Why would he date a regular girl? But also, he was on there to promote the pilot of his new television show. So I think he probably was, going on to promote his show. But he definitely humored me. We went on the lunch date. It was nice, and he called me like the week that the show was going to be airing. So that if Steve was like, "Have you talked to her?" He'd be like, yeah, see, we talk. Oh man, see, how this show is. You know how dudes get when they get the line. Either way, you're cute. I'm single now, Laz. I'm single then too, but now I'm very so. Brainy men love them. Yes. Oh, I love them. Y'all, I'm definitely a sapiosexual. Like, I love men. I'm like, I want to see your Dean's List certificate. Or you can just give me a copy of your transcript. I just want to see that little part on there. And I'm also very attracted to home ownership. Like you can be like little, you can be kind of short, you can be like 5'4", but if you have 3 to 5 properties, we can stand on the roof. It's okay. I like how they can teach me. Like I want to know, like, how did you do it? Like you work a regular job, I work a regular job. I only have like 2 properties. How did you get yours? Like, hey, bring like I want somebody who can teach me stuff. Somebody said he's taller with 3 to 4 properties. He is. Oh yeah, you're quite taller with 3 to 4 properties. There's a lot of If you make good decisions like that, it shuts up a girl like me because at the end of the day, I don't want no man telling me what to do who's stupider than me, period. But if I feel like you make good decisions in your life when we disagree, I am more likely to defer to giving what you want to do a try because I've already seen that you make good decisions throughout your life. But when you come through making poor decisions and want to impute your poor ass, stupid ass decisions on me, baby, you're gonna have to take that elsewhere. Ain't enough chicken wings in Harris County. You can't feed me enough to turn the other way while you do stupid stuff because you are going to give me the stupid ass life that you have. And I don't want it. Oh, about to be 6 o'clock. So on that note, homegirls come and do my makeup and help me get dressed for my day. Okay, y'all want to see my little outfit? I'm not like if it. I thought I heard somebody. If it works out, I hope it works out. If it works out, I'm not showing nobody on social media, y'all. I'm gonna cover their face. I might cover their. Well, I don't think men with bellies, but y'all not gonna see. Y'all not gonna see them until after I get married, just so I make sure it happens this time. Somebody said, I think the issue is how to spot manipulation. Oh, South by P, you're absolutely right. So, in closing, I think it was really clear. Remember when Darius made the post about Usher? I really thought, like, at first I was like, he's joking, right? Because that is stupid. But I realized, no, it makes perfect sense because that is who he saw as his competition. It does. Let me tell you something. I've seen the girls that Usher mess with. It ain't us. It ain't us. Now he might marry us. Let let me tell you my Usher story. I got to end on this. Okay, this is a good one. All right, so I used to live in New York, and I was practicing law out there at the beginning of my career. And one of my friends, he was on the Giants. He was like their biggest player, and he loved Usher. He loved Usher. Okay. But he was their franchise player. If you don't know what that is, Google it. It's like their biggest player. So he couldn't just be out with anybody because that was back when we just had media takeout and stuff. But he knew like I wasn't fucking with him. No, no, no. He was a ho. But he was fun. So he would call me. I was the daytime girl, meaning like he could call me if he wanted if he had to do an appearance and he wanted somebody who could be professional, who wasn't going to be groupie-ish. So he has the tickets for Usher. He was like, "Come with me, we're going to Usher." Cool. We go at the end. He's like, "Oh, we get to go down in the tunnel. My homeboy is going to bring us backstage. His ticket connect. His ticket connect was this short, stout, fat white boy who had a date who was a short, average white girl. Okay, she was probably like I'm describing her. She's probably like 5'1", 5'2". She had on cargo pants, some like boots that laced up, like nothing extravagant, and a sweater. She literally looked like she folds clothes at Abercrombie and Fitch. Okay, there was nothing memorable about the girl at all. I guess if I was to describe her, she looks like Tuesday, right? Tuesday. Nobody remembers Tuesday. Tuesday is forgettable. She's like, it happened. It's Tuesday. Like, that's what she's like. You know what you did on Monday. Wednesday's hump day. Thursday's almost the weekend. Friday, Saturday. You know. Damn it. What y'all do on Tuesday? I'll wait. See? You gotta think about it. Only reason you know what happened on Tuesday is today's Wednesday. So yeah, days notice. She looked like Tuesday. Just remind that. Remember that. Next time you got a boyfriend, he got a new girl who you like, why would you do that? Be like, that girl look like Tuesday. Just give me my credit. Hashtag attorney Symone. Anyway, so we go down and we're taking the picture. So he and Usher get a picture. I take a picture of him and Usher. And then and the girl is just standing there with the big fat white guy. Kind of looks like a dirty Santa Claus a little bit, like, but without a beard. Eh, he's a Tuesday guy. So they're equally yoked. Now the girl, so then it's my turn to take a picture with Usher. So Usher's got his arm around me. My buddy is taking the picture, and Usher whispers, "Is that your homegirl's man?" And I was like, "Homegirl, I don't know homegirl." And I realized he's talking about this Caucasian young lady that I'm just meeting, the white girl. And I was like, "Oh, no, that's not her man. I don't know if that's her man or not, but I wanted to see what else he had to say." So I was like, "Hey, oh hey boo, it's Kai. It's Kyra. Come on in. I'm telling the end of the story." Um, so this guy, she helped me get ready for my day. So he was like, so Usher was like, is that her? Is that her man? I was like, oh no. So I was like, why are you asking? Bitch look like Tuesday. And he was like, oh, tell her I want her number. And I was like, okay. So he does the pictures. He goes back into his dressing room. So when the girl walks over, I say, girl, you're not gonna believe this. Usher just told me he wants your number. And we're at this point, we're walking down the tunnel. This is Madison Square Garden. We're walking down the tunnel to go out and back past our seats. To do so, we have to walk past the dressing room. I kid you not. We're walking. Let me show you. I got to illustrate this. So we're walking this way, right down the, and I told her, I said, girl, Usher wanted your number. She was like, what? I said, yeah, he wanted your number, but I don't know you, so I didn't know what to tell her. She said, what? That chick takes off. You hear me? She took off, dipped into his dressing room. I keep walking, minding my business. I was like, I don't know, I don't know this girl. And so I keep walking. And so then my homeboy looks at me and he's like, where old girl? And I was like, eh. And then the guy turns around. Remember, he's the ticket hookup. He's the sole reason we're even there. He turns around and he's like, where, whatever her name is, where'd Molly go? And I was like, and he was like, and it dawns on him that she must have ducked off with some African American dick, and he is livid at this point. And he's looking. So then he starts walking how he's stomping, and he's a big voice, like jolly like Santa Claus. He's stomping and he's looking in the room. He looks in, he sees her in the room. I'm telling the story. He sees her in the room with Usher, and he goes, "Get your ass out of here right now. We leaving." I said, "Oh my goodness." And so then, and she walked on out. She was in there writing her number down for Usher. She didn't get to finish. I said, girl, you get to finish. You get to give it to him. She was like, no. I had two numbers left. I said, bitch, you should have mouthed it. 9-1. 9-1. You did all of that. You done messed up your hookup. I said, well, girl, because she was in law school. I do remember this. She was in law school at the time. I said, well, girl, just make sure he don't cancel your flight back home because you're going to be stuck like Chuck, honey. Because I think he's about to put you out tonight. So anyway, so that's my Usher story. So I say that to say I don't think Keke was a problem. I think he really enjoyed, he enjoys what beautiful black women look like, but I know he likes to play with ones who look like Tuesday. And on that note, see y'all next week. Take care. All right, let's go.